So, as you guys know, the nominations for the Grammy Awards just dropped, and there has been a lot of discussion surrounding it, especially from like the K-pop community, because I feel like there was this disillusioned expectation that a lot of groups were going to get nominations because a lot of them submitted. I think it was like 15 different groups or something like that. It was crazy. But yeah, a lot of groups submitted both their songs or their albums to be considered for nomination at the Grammy Awards. And out of all of those groups that submitted, not a single one actually ended up getting nominated. And so a lot of people were pissed off. And yeah, Twitter was a mess last night. So that's why today I want to take the chance to go through the nominations. We're not going to go through all of them because I think that there's like 70 different awards being given out. We're only going to look at the important ones, and we're just going to talk about like who got robbed, did anyone get robbed, and who I think is going to win each of the categories. All right, starting out with Record of the Year, we have DTMF by Bad Bunny. I think this is a sleeper hit to win this category. It's just like, it has this cool vibe to it, and it has some really, really good lyrics. It's very meaningful. And yeah, I honestly think that this has a great chance of winning this, and I kind of hope that it does. Then we have Man-Child by Sabrina Carpenter, the single from her album. It's a pretty good song. It's probably the most like, streamable song from that album. So I think that's a good choice. Then we have Anxiety by Doechii, which, listen, if Doechii wins any award this year, she's never going to beat the industry plant allegations. Because I don't know a single person that likes this song. It's bad. It's really bad. She got cooked for putting this out. And yeah, it's just, I don't know. Doechii has a lot of nominations this year, and I really hope that she doesn't win a single one because it would be an absolute clown show. Then we have Wildflower by Billie Eilish. I feel like Billie Eilish is one of those artists that the Grammys always likes to like recognize. So her being on this honestly makes sense. Is it going to win? Probably not, but like I said, I don't have a problem with Billie Eilish being on this list. Then we have Abracadabra by Lady Gaga, the outstanding single from her album. And yeah, I mean, I think that it makes sense. Everyone kind of expected this to be nominated. I think she has a good chance to win, for sure. Then we have Luther by Kendrick Lamar featuring SZA. This song was everywhere. A lot of K-pop artists actually covered this song. I think Winter from aespa and Ray from IVE have like covers that are up on YouTube that you can watch. But yeah, this song was crazy good. Kendrick Lamar's best R&B song, and the Kendrick SZA duo always hits, so it makes sense. Another one that I think has a good chance of winning. Kendrick, similar to Billie Eilish, is just one of those artists that's like always recognized by the Grammys, a Grammys darling, if you will. So I wouldn't be surprised if Kendrick wins it here. The Subway by Chappell Rowan. It has a chance. It has a chance for sure. Not one of the better ones on this list, but Chappell Rowan is cool. And then, of course, we have APT with Rosé and Bruno Mars. Another one that I obviously expected to be on this list, given the fact that it was so successful. And obviously, it being tied to Bruno Mars also kind of helps it out a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone should be surprised at the fact that APT is being nominated here. I think out of all of the Blackpink girls, her album, and specifically this song, were the only ones that had real value. The Blackpink fans in general are like in a spiral. They're crashing out. They're upset over the fact that Jennie did not get any nomination. And to be honest, if you thought that Jennie deserved to be nominated for any of these categories, you are literally delusional. I listened to that album. It's mid. It's not bad. It's not good. It's mid. Let's be honest, man. Nothing about it was really special. And you could say the same thing about the Lisa album, honestly. So if you were to pick one of the Blackpink girlies to be represented here, and if you were to pick one song from all of them to be represented here, APT is the only option. So I'm not surprised, and I'm also not upset that it's nominated. It has a chance to win, but I actually don't think it's going to win this. I think the winner is either going to be Luther or they're gonna give it to Bad Bunny. Those are my top two, but we'll see what happens. Okay, moving on to album of the year, we have DTMF by Bad Bunny, which again, I think this is a sleeper hit. It really depends on what direction the Grammys wants to go in. Obviously, Bad Bunny's going to perform at the Super Bowl. There's a lot of hype surrounding him, especially since he released this album. I think it came out like late 2024. But the entirety of 2025 in general has been a great year for him. He's done his like residency in Puerto Rico. He went on a crazy tour, and that finished not too long ago. I think it was like a few months ago. And then he was announced as the performer for the Super Bowl this year. So yeah, I mean, this is a great album. Some outstanding tracks, probably some of the best tracks that Bad Bunny's ever made. I think it's a great album. My sleeper pick to win this for sure. Then we have Swag by Justin Bieber, which, to be honest, why is this getting nominated? It is arguably Justin Bieber's worst album to date, and a lot of the songs just feel unfinished. They feel demo-ish, if you will. The best song on this album is Yukon, and Yukon is sped up for some reason. The vocals are like pitched. There are versions of this song on YouTube that pitch the vocals down, and it sounds so much better. I don't understand how Swag by Justin Bieber gets nominated for anything, but I like Justin. He's my favorite Twitch streamer, so there you go. Then we have Man's Best Friend by Sabrina Carpenter. Not as good as her album last year, but I think it's good enough, and I respect it getting nominated. Then we have a banger, an absolute banger. Maybe the Grammys is cooking after all. They nominated Let God Sort Him Out by The Clips, Pusha T and his brother Malice. Fantastic album. Great rap album, beginning to end. It's beautiful. You have production from Pharrell Williams. It's peak. It came out on the same night that Twice's This Is 4 came out. It was a great experience to get to listen to that album and then this album back to back to back. And now that I think about it, Swag also came out that exact same night. Crazy. It's insane that all three of those albums came out the same night. It would have been funny if This Is 4 got nominated as well, but they did not get nominated. Twice, 0 nominations. Unfortunate, but it is what it is. Okay, next we have Mayhem by Lady Gaga. I mean, this is another one that I think a lot of people expected to be nominated, so not surprising. Lady Gaga is more of like a, veteran artist, legacy artist, if you will, and I feel like the Grammys always tries to represent one of those, so it makes sense. Pop icon Lady Gaga. Then we have GNX by Kendrick Lamar. Again, Kendrick Lamar is a Grammy darling, and GNX I do think was a relatively strong album. Not his best by any means, but I do think that it has some really fun and exciting tracks, so it makes sense. Then we have Mutt by Leon Thomas. He's a very interesting artist because I don't think he's as well known as all of the other artists that are on this list. But I mean, he was on Victorious. He's that guy. So, underrated for sure. And I'm actually not upset that he's being nominated here. I think it's definitely well deserved. Then we have Chromacopia by Tyler, the Creator. This is another one that I think a lot of people expected to be nominated. I personally liked his other album. Don't Tap That Glass was better, in my opinion, than Chromacopia. I did not like Chromacopia, but that's just me. I don't know. It is what it is. But again, like I said, it was expected, so no surprises there. Then we move on to Song of the Year with Abracadabra by Lady Gaga, Anxiety by Doechii, which should not be nominated, but whatever. APT by Rosé, of course. Again, that makes sense. DTMF, that makes sense. Then we have Golden from the K-pop Demon Hunters soundtrack, so that's an interesting song to be thrown in there. Will it win? I don't think it will. Even though the song was massive and the movie itself was a massive movie, I don't know if it'll win. It would be very interesting for them to go in that direction and give them the win. I will say this. The thing that makes Golden so impressive is the fact that it was able to kick off Alex Warren from the top spot on the Billboard charts. For like 17 weeks straight, Alex Warren was had the number one song on the Billboard charts, and Golden knocked it out. And to me, that is something that none of these other songs or artists were able to do, and for that reason alone, I do think it makes a case for Golden to win this. But again, DTMF, sleeper hit, good choice. It could win here, but then we also have Luther, so it's tough, man. These categories are definitely complicated. It really depends on what they want to appeal to the most. Do they go with the Kendrick Lamar darling? Do they blow people's expectations and pick Golden? Or do they stick to an artist that I think is going to continue to blow up the way that he has, which is Bad Bunny? But we also have Manchild. That also can make a case for this category. And then Wildflower by Billie Eilish. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot to pick from here. Very stacked, a very difficult list. I don't think APT is going to win. I'm going to be honest with you. Based on how the Grammys has been in previous years, I don't think that they're going to prioritize a K-pop artist over everybody else that's here. I'm just going to be honest. Like, let's be realistic here. Let's be honest. APT, it's good. It was successful. But is it better than any of these other songs down here? Is it better than DTMF? No. Is it better than Golden? No. Is it better than Luther? No. Is it better than Manchild? No. So, in my opinion, I just don't see it winning. It would be surprising. Obviously, it would create a lot of buzz. You know, the ratings would be through the roof, because there's going to be a lot of Blackpink fans, a lot of Rosé fans that are going to be tuning in to the Grammys specifically for Rosé. So there is a chance. I'm not saying there is no chance, but I personally do not think it should win. All right, next we have Best New Artist. We have Olivia Dean, Katseye, The Marias, Addison Rae, Somber, Leon Thomas, Alex Warren, Lola Young. Now, there has been a lot of discussion surrounding Katseye's nomination because they're nominated for two things here. The first one being Best New Artist. I do think that there is an argument to be made for them to be nominated here and potentially even win it. They put out bad songs. There was not a single song that I liked. I've made it very clear that I'm not a fan of this group. However, if we're being honest and we're being real, I do think that they had a great year in terms of how they build their brand and their popularity, etc., etc. I think that it's not crazy to nominate them here. People have been discussing it and saying that it's payola, that it's Hybe using their connections to make it happen. And while I do think that Hybe is, they're tricky. They've definitely influenced a lot of things when it comes to like music video views and streams and a bunch of other nonsense, right? But when it comes to like, does Katseye deserve this specific nomination of Best New Artist? To be honest, I think they do. I think they do. I think it's not that crazy as people are making it out to be. Now, that being said, it also opens up the conversation of like, are Hybe groups even good? And the answer is no. I saw a tweet from someone that was saying that Hybe's strength is that they give you the illusion of success. When it comes to all of their groups, they try to make them look like they're more valuable and more important than they actually are. And I think Katseye is a very good example of this, but I think you can look at a group like Islet as well. If you remember, before they debuted, before they put out any music, Islet was already getting invited to like fashion shows. And I remember saying that was odd, because like back in the day, to get invited to music shows, fashion shows, to get invited to Fashion Week in general, it was a privilege. It was a privilege that only the top of the top would get to do. And nowadays, it feels like everybody gets in. Everybody gets in because everyone wants a piece of the fan base that these K-pop groups have. And it creates this like weird environment where groups are not actually being rewarded for their talent. they're being rewarded for false hype surrounding them. And HYBE is the biggest culprit of this out of all of the companies. All of the companies do this, but I think HYBE is the biggest culprit of that. And I do think that Katseye definitely, is affected by it. However, once again, when it comes to the discussion of whether they deserve to be nominated for Best New Artist, I do think that they did deserve this. Should they win? I don't know. That's up to you to decide. But a nomination here is not as crazy as people are making it out to be. Then we have Best Pop Duo / Group Performance, one of them being Defying Gravity by Ariana Grande, Golden from the K-Pop Demon Hunters soundtrack, Gabriella by Katseye, which is just odd to me, APT by Rosé and Bruno Mars, and then 30 for 30 SZA with Kendrick Lamar. First and foremost, Gabriella, it is the better of the songs from the album that they put out, but I didn't have a problem with them being nominated for Best New Artist, but Best Group Performance, and this is the song, come on. There are better songs. There are better groups that put out better songs and better performances. I just don't know. I don't know. What about I don't know, Le Sserafim? What about even aespa, Whiplash? I think they had submitted that for this category as well. I don't know. It's odd to me that this is the one that's being put up here. But whatever. But again, you also have Golden on here, which I do think has a good chance of winning. I think it's probably going to go to APT. I think if APT has any chance of winning any category, it's going to be this one. But then again, the Grammy darling Kendrick Lamar is also being listed here with SZA, which is also a very well-liked, well-respected artist when it comes to the Grammys as well. So it could go either way. But I think it's either going to be Golden or 30 for 30. But if APT wins this, I actually don't think it would be the craziest thing in the world. So yeah, that is pretty much gonna do it for all of the nominations for any K-pop adjacent acts / groups. I believe that's it for Katseye, and that's it also for Rosé for APT. I think Golden might be nominated for one or two more categories, but they're smaller categories, so it doesn't really matter that much. But the major ones, I'm pretty sure this is it. Anyways, that is pretty much gonna do it for all the nominations that I think are worth talking about, or at least the ones that are the most relevant to the channel. But yeah, some surprises in there for sure, but I think a lot of it was pretty much as expected. I think the one artist that got robbed is The Weeknd. Hurry Up Tomorrow was a great album. Not my favorite Weeknd album, but comparatively, it's so much better than half of the stuff that got nominated. Swag by Justin Bieber, look, how is that getting nominated? And Hurry Up Tomorrow by The Weeknd not. It makes no sense. They must hate the guy or something. I can't even explain it. Did you listen? The first half of Hurry Up Tomorrow, I would say the first 8 or 10 songs is incredible. The transition into Open Hearts, oh my god, that was cinema. Wake Me Up, cinema. Cry For Me, cinema. What are we doing here? How is it that not a single one of those songs or the album itself got any recognition? If we want to talk about robberies, that's the guy that got robbed. It's not Jenny. it's not Lisa. It's not any of these other groups. It's The Weeknd. To be honest, I feel like a lot of K-pop fans were in over their heads. I think you guys overvalue K-pop as a genre, because a lot of those songs and a lot of those albums that I saw being submitted to the Grammys to be nominated, they're not that good, man. I just K-pop music is just reheated Western music. It was never going to get the respect at this award show. This is an American award show, right? They're going to focus on the Western American artists. That's just how it is. So if you went into this thinking that, yeah, oh my god, Lisa and Rose and Jenny, they're gonna get a ton of nominations. And oh, Le Seraphim's gonna be on there too. And oh, Espa's also gonna get a nomination. And come on, man. Let's be honest. You're out of your depth here. I do think that This Is For by Twice was probably the best album that our group put out this year. And even I'm not delusional. Even I knew that there was no way in hell that they were gonna get nominated. I didn't even expect it. I didn't even plan for it. I was like, yeah, there's no way. And even if they did get nominated, they were never gonna win that. Did you see the other albums and the other artists that were nominated in that category? There's no shot. There is a funny opportunity here, by the way. And I'm just gonna throw this out there if the Grammys are listening. You have a massive cinematic masterpiece on your hands here. You know how like Lisa's nominated for 3 categories? Imagine if she wins none of them. Do you know how funny it's gonna be on Twitter the next day? They're going to crash out. They're going to lose their minds. You're gonna send a ton of like delusional fanboys into an absolute spiral. I think it would be great content. Amazing content. I think if the Grammys are smart, they make sure that Lisa loses. In fact, you know what would be better? If the categories that APT is nominated for, Golden by Huntrix wins instead. That would be peak. Because then it's like the memes would be crazy. Imagine losing to a fictional group. That's crazy. But with that being said, let me know what you guys thought about the Grammy nominations. Do you agree with the nominations? Do you disagree? Who do you think got robbed? I don't know. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And with that being said, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.